The Indianapolis Motor Speedway, just in and of itself, is a very special place for anybody that's involved in professional motorsports here in the United States. I started coming here, I obviously grew up on the West Coast, so it wasn't an every year type of thing, but I came a couple of times when I was a little kid. And then it's funny, even having been here prior to racing here, when I first rolled through the gates, knowing that I was going to race an Indy Lights car here back in 2008, no pun intended, it really hits you like a ton of bricks that you're actually going to be driving and racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
An old friend of ours, Bill Prather, he used to be the president and CEO of Hardee's Foods chain, had a comment, and I'll never forget it. He said, you start preparing for Indy about 2 hours after the last Indy. And I think it's so true. You never stop thinking about it. You know, we're here, you know, really for 2.5 weeks. It used to be you were here for a whole month. A lot of guys, you know, we come here today with our cars, you know, well prepared at the shop. We roll them in here and we have an agenda. Okay, we're going to do this on this day, this on this day, this on this day, this on this day. When I started back in the late 60s, a lot of people built their cars here. I mean, they actually showed up here with a frame and an engine and stuff, and they started assembling their cars, and they did body work up until qualifying.
Indy's a lot different from a preparation standpoint, both as a driver and as a team and crew, because you have a lot longer to get ready for it. So we have a whole week's worth of practice before we even qualify, and then after you qualify, you've got another day that you can run. You run for an hour and a half or an hour on carb day. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into it.
It is amazing how fast, though, by the end of the month, you know, you never ever have as much track time as you need, and you never have as much preparation time as you need. There's always one more thing. You know, if I just could have done this, or if I could have done that, and you look back at it, you know, and every year I've always said that.
It's super important to use that time wisely, not to get strung out or bent out of shape about anything that's going on, because you know you've got a little bit of time to go back to the truck, figure it out. You don't have to get right back out on track. So it's, as much as you do have the time to use, you have to be really smart about how you use all the time that you have on track.
I think every minute you're able to spend here, I grew up here in Indianapolis, and every minute that I've been able to spend here has been memorable.
The place it's a living, breathing racetrack. It's a little bit different every day. The conditions play a huge role in how fast you go, how the car feels, and that when you roll out here on race day, it's not like anything else. The place is just so big, there's so many people here. You know, you can feel it kind of ebb and flow, and the excitement in the fans. Driving for the National Guard in the IndyCar Series is a privilege just to start with, but to be here standing on the front straightaway with all the rest of your guys with you, there's a lot of innumerable men and women in uniform at the track on Memorial Day weekend, on race day, listening to the national anthem with the B-2 bomber flying overhead. It's as patriotic as it gets.
You know, the responsibility and that we have to those people. Every time that our car rolls on the racetrack, every time that we do a presentation in our hospitality unit, every time I do an interview, I always just think of those people and the sacrifice that they've made for me and my family and our country, and what we owe them.
It's a moment where a lot of race days, before you're getting in the car, you're trying to just kind of drown out all the emotion. You're just trying to stay focused. You're going to be getting in the car, start of the races soon. Here at Indy, that becomes just impossible to do. You have to just kind of soak it all in, and that's really one of the cool things about the situation that we have working with the Guard, is we get to take that all in, and it gets us pumped for running the race.
It is the same chill and thrill and hair standing up on your back of your neck, and your senses going 1,000 miles an hour, and everything that you're thinking about. What did I miss? What are we not prepared for? What can we do better? Because until the checker flag drops, you still got a shot to change it.
It's obviously at Panther Racing. Panther has finished second here 4 out of the last 5 years. I was one of those in 2011. So we come here with the intention to win the race, and that's it. We know that we can do that, and we feel very confident that we can put ourselves in a position to be there at the end.
I think, you know, it could be a great show come race day, you know, weather permitting, and you know, good Lord's plan, we'll see what happens.